First we have the SteelSeries Rifle 100, which is about $40 on Amazon at the moment. Then we have the Logitech G303 at $50 from Amazon. And lastly we have the Zowie EC2 which is about $60. The Rifle 100 is a relatively cheap mouse, although if you listen to the buttons, it's just loud and not very well built. However, the rest of the mouse does feel very solid and it has a really nice material on top. So overall, this feels good in the hand and it is a safe shape. And while you can't really see it on camera, it does have RGB lighting on the scroll wheel and the back. The way I describe this mouse is good but not great. Next we have the G303. The absolute best sensor on the market is in this mouse. The problems? People have trouble with the shape because it is a bit of a different design. It took me a while to get used to it, but after a while, it actually started to feel good in the hand. I'm sort of palm gripping it, but obviously you can claw and fingertip no problem. So it's not for everyone, but for the people who do like it, it can be a very good mouse. You have slight grooves in the buttons, and speaking of the left and right click, they are probably the best I've had in a mouse. They're extremely quick and easy to press in. My problems with the G303, obviously the sensor rattle is now an issue, and I think mine has got a lot worse. Have a listen. I can't even move the mouse left and right now without it doing it, and that's just terrible build quality. Either way, both these mice have two side buttons, although the Logitech's are much better. DPI switch, both are about the same, and while the scroll wheel is loud on the Rifle 100, listen, it's nowhere near as bad as the G303. This is probably the worst scroll wheel I've ever had on a mouse. They really need to fix that on the next one. Neither of these cables get in the way, one is braided and very smooth, the other is just plasticky rubber. If you think the shape is going to be a problem on the G303, then the Rifle 100 is still a good choice, and it is $10 cheaper. This is an extremely safe shape, it is very straight, and even the wide back doesn't cause a problem. It's about 5.5 centimeters across, which is a good size for a mouse, and about 6.5 at the back here. Also, the mouse feet are very loud, so I'd probably recommend getting better mouse feet on it too. If you think you can handle the shape of the G303, and you want the best sensor available, then this is obviously a good choice. Has a really nice RGB lighting, a great cable, really nice buttons to click in. This is recommended to a lot of people, and up until it got the rattle, I was still enjoying using it. But if you're going to look at the Rifle 100, maybe take a look at the Rapoo V300 as well. You have an extra button, the feet glide a lot easier, the grooves in the buttons are amazing and that material on top feels really good. The scroll wheel is a lot better. The buttons are much quieter. I definitely prefer playing with this mouse. By the way, word of warning, the cable on the Rapoo V300 isn't all that good. It does have some minor faults, but nothing that was too bad. You have the DPI switch too, and both of these are limited to certain DPIs. This sensor is slightly jittery and maybe not even as good as this one, although I still prefer to play with this. Again, like the G303, this is a different sort of shape and it will take some getting used to. I found after a week, I absolutely loved it, and this has been a favourite mouse of mine. The only mouse that could beat this one, even with the G303 on my desk, was the Zowie EC2. Unlike the other two, the EC2 just feels really solidly built. The only problems are the side buttons being very flimsy, and also the scroll wheel I've heard breaks. You don't have the RGB lighting, you don't have the extra materials or textures, it's just a very smooth, solidly built mouse. I recommend this for competitive gamers and people who really want to take their gaming seriously. So while it doesn't have all the bells and whistles and gimmicky features of the other mice, it is just a solid mouse, and as you can see by these rounds in Quake, it has definitely helped my aim. I thought the G303 really helped my aim. I thought the Rifle 100 was pretty good for aim, but no mouse I've ever used has ever come close to the EC2. The EC2 is on a whole other level when it comes to actually playing. I was very skeptical at first. A lot of friends told me that I should give it a go, and eventually I just said, okay, fine, I'll review it. And now it is the mouse of choice. I always play with this mouse when I can. Another note, I've heard that the mouse feet do wear out. They look a bit worn even right now, but they've been like that since day one. And so far I haven't had a problem with them, and they do give you a replacement set in the box when you purchase it. So when you think about it, all of these have build quality issues. I think that's just mice in general. And knowing which one to buy is going to be up to personal preference. If I had to put these in order, it'd be EC2, V300, G303 Rival 100. That's probably as clear as I can be about these mice. It's really up to you. I can't exactly recommend the Rival 100. While it's a good mouse and I like it, it isn't great. It's not on the same level as the other ones. And for $40, I would definitely rather the V300. However, if you want a safer shape for $40, the Rival 100 is the better option. While the G303 has the best sensor, but if you're caring that much about the sensor, I would say you're fairly competitive in your gaming, so I would rather recommend you the EC2A. Just spend the extra dollars. And again, quality control. These two are good mice. This one's even better than the Rival 100, but they're still not quite at the quality that I like these days, ever since using the Zowie EC2A and the Rapoo V300. These are my two favourite mice, other than the Rockad Cone, which has the nicest materials I've ever used on a mouse, so this is actually my new mouse of choice. I love using this, although in game, if I'm going to play seriously, Zowie EC2A. Anyway, I'm going to compare all these mice, including the new ones that I'll be getting soon, in the best mice of 2015. So subscribe for that and make sure you keep a lookout for it. If you want more information on any of these mice, I'll leave links on screen now to their individual reviews, so check those out and hopefully it'll help you make a better decision. But for me, personally, Zowie EC2A is number one, followed by the Rapoo V300, then Logitech G303 and then Rival. But it's really up to you and your gaming preferences, so if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Just leave a comment below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Like the video so it helps it come up in search results, and I'll catch you in the next video. For a comparison review between three mice that are about $10 apart. First we have the SteelSeries Rival 100, which is about $40 on Amazon at the moment. Then we have the Logitech G303 at $50 from Amazon. And lastly we have the Zowie EC2A, which is about $60. The Rival 100 is a relatively cheap mouse, although if you listen to the buttons, it's just loud and not very well built. However, the rest of the mouse does feel very solid and it has a really nice material on top. So overall, this feels good in the hand and it is a safe shape. And while you can't really see it on camera, it does have RGB lighting on the scroll wheel and the back. The way I describe this mouse is good but not great. Next we have the G303